Hi thee, good internet people. I welcome thee to this humble good kitchen, which has been, of late, rather impugned. We are here today for this kitchen heathenry, I'm led to believe, by our hostess who, though a heathen herself, admitted, is still a goodly person, who may yet turn away from the dark forces and temptation, if we but think on it, and hope for her salvation. Now, today I am led to believe that we are going to be celebrating a great holiday. Tomorrow is National Oatmeal Day, and we are celebrating the occasion by making biscuits. I believe in the colonies you call them cookies. Though I myself, being but a simple person, despite my outward finery, I do enjoy a good bowl of oatmeal on the Lord's Day before church. I do not quite agree with turning a lovely simple bowl of oatmeal into a heathenly biscuit with chocolate, something that the Spanish have been throwing in our faces for 200 years. Though, I suppose the times have changed, and we all must change with them, and accept that the Lord be with us, if even not in ways we were led to believe originally. So, good people, I will turn you over to our heathen hostess so she can complete this recipe. Thank you. Okay, no, I'm not doing the accent this whole episode, but kind of like my dad, so I'm going to keep wearing this. I think I look pretty cool. Alright, so we are going to get started with some super duper awesome sauce chocolate chip oatmeal cookies. They're really good. So what we need are some semi-sweet chips. I like to go with semi-sweet because they're not too sweet, they're not too bitter. They're nice in between, and they go really well with the amount of sugar that we put in the cookies. 2 cups of flour, 2 cups of old-fashioned oats. Make sure it's old-fashioned and not instant because it won't set up properly if it does. Baking powder, baking soda, some unsalted butter, warm to room temperature. As you can see, mine are looking a little ugly right now, but that means they're right about where we need to be. Brown sugar, white sugar, some eggs, some cinnamon, and some vanilla. And then we are good to bake some amazing cookies. So what we're going to do is take our 2 sticks of butter that are warmed up to room temperature, and we're going to take 1.25 cups of brown sugar and 1/2 cup of white sugar, and we're going to cream them together just like we did in our other cookie episode. And we'll be back in just a second once I get done with that. All right. Because I still have not gotten a chance to go get another mixer. So as you can see, we did that by hand, as they would have done in Yana olden days. That's olda with an E at the end. But we have our eggs and our sugar, or I'm sorry, we have our butter and our sugar. This wig's going to my head. Ah! And it is creamed and nice and fluffy and a nice color. So remember what we said about wet ingredients and dry ingredients. Since we're making cookies, we're going to start with, after we cream the sugar and the butter, we're going to go ahead and add in the rest of our wet ingredients. So that is, what is it, a teaspoon of vanilla, 2 eggs, 2 whole eggs. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and mix those up. Try not to get my fancy foofy sleeves in my in the batter here, because that wouldn't be good. Faster with a whisk, but you know, I didn't think of that ahead of time. Alright, that looks excellent. So now we're going to go ahead and start putting in our dry ingredients. And we're going to talk about oatmeal real quick. As you can see, hopefully, as you can see, the oatmeal is a little bit broken down. I just kind of put my hands in it like this, and I washed them first, and then I put them in, and I kind of broke down the pieces a little bit. It'll be easier with the cookies, so they're not all just large pieces. Okay, and we have 2 cups of old-fashioned oatmeal, 2 cups of all-purpose flour, salt, baking powder and baking soda, and cinnamon. So what we want to start doing is just adding gradually. Add a little bit and then stir. Get it mixed up. Go ahead and start putting our razors in. 1 teaspoon of each. I think I said that, but I'm not sure. And go ahead with more flour. Okay. And just for a change of pace, we're going to go ahead and put in some oatmeal. And make sure that you're scraping around the side and scraping down to the bottom of the bowl. Make sure everything gets mixed up. And keep going. So I had this idea to dress up. And that's 2 days ago, 3 days ago now. Because I thought to myself, boy, I got to do something special for National Oatmeal Day. So let's do something special on National Oatmeal Day. And I had this wig. I bought this wig during COVID lockdowns like 3 years ago. So I know everybody has a story of something stupid that they bought online during the lockdowns. Mine is, this was on sale for $5, and I'm like, I can eventually use a powdered wig, right? It took 3 years, but eventually I used the powdered wig. I also bought an olive tree, and I live in Pennsylvania, so it wasn't really the best decision, but she's still doing good. She comes in winters in the house. So if you have any stories about dumb quarantine purchases that you bought, put them in the comments and make me feel better about my wig. Alright? I would appreciate it. Okay, so we dumped in the last of the oatmeal. And I'm going to go ahead and switch over to hand mixing because this kind of hurts my wrist sometimes. And again, try to keep my dainty cuffs out of the cookies, which will not be easy. Pushing out the last of our flour here. Uh-oh. Sorry, cuffs. Just give those a tuck there. It's for the best. Yeah, I clearly didn't think about the cuffs when I was coming out with this. Okay, we can add our last bit of flour. Oh, and I almost forgot. Before I get too far with this, we still have to add, and I think I forgot to put it up on the big board, but we're going to add in just like a half teaspoon of salt and a tablespoon of cinnamon. All right, and we can keep going. About done here. Everything's looking pretty good. Especially the stuff that I spilled all over the table, as usual. Alright. Okay. And I'm still kind of scraping the bottom of the bowl and the sides to make sure there's no flour stuck down there. I want to make sure we get everything mixed in. Okay. That's pretty good. And now we can add one of the best parts, the chocolate chips. Now, I have on the recipe 2 cups of chocolate chips, but, you know, it's chocolate. You can kind of do what you want with it. I'm going to put in about half a bag, one of these big bags. It was one of the smaller bags. I just dumped the whole thing in. It's fine. It's chocolate chips. It's pretty good. But chocolate chip cookies, you need chocolate in them. At least that's how I'm, you know, explaining it to myself here. And we're just going to give these sort of a fold in. Okay. And I probably should have used a bigger bowl. We're going to need a bigger bowl. That was a Jaws joke. I don't think anybody got it because it doesn't make sense. I mean, I thought it was funny, but okay. Now you don't want to, you know, overmix this too much. Just make sure that you've got the chips mostly evenly. Come on, leg. I am not a fan of the wig party. Nobody gets that either, do they? Okay. Okay. You just want to make sure they're not clumped up and they're as evenly distributed as you can make them. And now, we are probably ready to cook, but if your dough is a little bit more sticky than this, I know this is stuck all over my hands, but if your dough is a little bit sticky, you can go ahead and put it in the fridge for a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Mine is okay, but I'm going to take the opportunity to clean up the table and get stuff preheated and clean my hands off. So we're going to be back in just a minute, and we're going to go ahead and get started cooking. Oh, actually, before we do that, I should probably say, go ahead and if you're using an oven, you're going to want to go ahead and preheat it to 375. If you're using a toaster oven or an air fryer oven like I am, I'm going to go ahead and preheat it to 325. And we will be back in just a second to get these started baking. Alright, we'll see you then. We are back. The table is clean, assuming the cookies needed a little bit of time in the fridge. They have gotten that. And our oven should be nice and preheated. So first what we want to do is take the parchment paper and line our cookie sheets with it. And then you can do this with your hands, or you can do this with a spoon if you want, whichever. And these do not have to be exact anyway. Just take a spoonful and plop it on down. I like to roll them up a little bit just to give them, you know, a little bit of shape. But you don't have to, you know. Let's see. Mine are, what is that, like 1.5 inches round. And you want to try to make sure that you don't put them too close together. On something this size, I would put 8, you know, diagonally and across from each other, just to give them time to spread out, because we have a lot of baking powder and a lot of baking soda in there, so they're going to get bigger. So you don't want to cram them up together, or have like a pan-o cookie here. You know, even them out so you have room for everything. As you can tell, we have a lot of chocolate chips in here. Maybe slightly too much, if that's a thing. I don't know if that's a thing. We'll see what happens when they cook. That's a little bit too big. Okay. Now, as you can see, we got them all nice and even. They all have their own little spaces to pop out. And we're going to go ahead and cook them. I'm going to be cooking them at 325 for 15 minutes a batch. And if you're using an oven, you're going to do 375 for 10 minutes a batch. So you're going to go ahead and pop these in, and we'll see you in about 15 minutes when they're done. Okay, we are back. So it's been about 15 minutes for me and about 10 minutes for you probably. So we're going to go ahead and grab our first batch out of the oven. If I can fit my oven mitt down over my big poofy sleeves here. Okay. Great. They're a little bit small. As you can see, some of these are a little bit small. And that's fine. They've raised up real nicely. They should be nice and chewy in the middle. Plus, if they're that size, they fit much better into a mug of milk than if they're bigger. Just something to keep in mind. Okay, we're going to go ahead and transfer these to the cutting board, or wherever you want to put them, it's fine. Just to let them cool and let the chocolate set up. And then I grab my bowl out of the fridge. I like to leave it in the fridge in between batches. And I'm going to go ahead and roll up another batch of cookies to go in the oven. I'm going to make these a little bit bigger. I anticipated these being a little larger. But, you know, it's up to you. Whatever size of cookies you like, it's fine. And just, you know, you don't even have to roll them up the way I am. You can just plop them down how you want. Sometimes ugly cookies taste better than pretty cookies. I'm just saying. They all taste good, so that's what really matters. Some of these might be a little bit too big to cook properly. Okay, well, that's definitely something to keep in mind. If you want them a certain size, you know, you might have to tailor your cook times. Okay. Alright, and we are good to go with batch number 2. I'm going to pop this back in the fridge, and I think I'm going to go ahead and finish baking the rest of these, and we will be back when all that's done. All right, we'll see you then. All right, we are back. And as you can see, we're making a lot of cookies. I'm just about to pull my last batch out of the oven, and they look absolutely delicious. Now, if you make these, it's about 51 cookies. So I would say the recipe probably yields about, 4 dozen. A little over 4 dozen, just to make it a nice round number. Oops. Well, that sucks. Okay. These look really nice. And they're pretty delicious too. I made a test batch over the weekend. And yeah, they're really good. So, if you're looking for a mighty tasty chocolate chip oatmeal cookie recipe, look no further. To be perfectly honest, I like these a little bit better than normal chocolate chip cookies because I think the oatmeal really adds something and makes them better than just plain chocolate chip cookies. But that's my opinion. So yeah, pretty quick, pretty easy, not too much to it, and you end up with really, really excellent cookies that you can use to impress all of your friends and get them to do favors for you. So, well, that's about it for this episode. Thank you for joining me as I'm here, just like like an idiot again. But yeah, okay. So thank you for joining me for another episode of Kitchen Witchin', coming to you from the ugliest kitchen in America. And happy cooking, guys. We'll see you next time.